Boom.
Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yo. Here we go. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here to move back to get his greatness in. We've got to get on with it because the clock watchers are here. The clock watchers will be zoning in, tuning in as we speak. So the boom stays. Just want to briefly talk about yesterday. I did a charity, not a charity event, sorry boys. It was not anything to do with charity. It was just like an auction. Stuff were getting auctioned off, some memorabilia and stuff. But it was a talk. It was an afternoon with Jermaine Beckford and Becchio, who was delightful to work with. I did all the sound for it, like just provided all speakers and microphone or whatever, or yada yada. And played some tunes in between the spots. Becchio and Beckford were absolutely lovely, proper nice blokes. Beckford were really quite funny, to be fair. He had some pretty mint stories. There was a comedian guy called Jed Stone, or something I think he was called. Maybe the less said about him, probably the better. But you know, all right, I suppose. I mean, what I would have to say is, you know, possibly one of the biggest divas I've ever met in my whole life. Sometimes I think you get, no matter how old you get, some people just always treat you like you're a 4-year-old kid and you don't know what you're doing. I'm remarkably experienced in DJing and providing sound. I've done festivals. I don't really need to big myself up in any way, any which way. I ain't got an ego about it. I'm the man. I know I'm the man, but you know, there's some. I've met some divas in my time, and yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Beckford and Becchio were lovely. Got a handshake with them. I was meant to get a photo with them, but I didn't really have time, so because they were doing the photos upstairs and stuff. Bumped into, obviously, loads of Leeds fans, but I bumped into a few that watch the channel, so shout out to you guys. If you want a shout out, leave us a comment below, basically, because I was having a few beers while I was doing it. And I make notes whenever I bump into you guys and, like, write your name down. But I bumped into a few, and then the note, I've obviously done it when I'm a bit pissed, like, and I was busy, so I'd, like, wrote it down, and the note just don't make any sense. So I woke up this morning like, oh shit, and I've tried to work it out, and I'm like, I don't really know. But the one that did work is Dan Braham or Dan Braham or Dan Braham. I'm gonna go with. He had the best Leeds shirt on in the building. It was the blue one. I think, is it the Packard Bell one with like the dark blue strip through the middle? I used to love that kit. That was Puma, that wasn't it? I think. Was that one Puma? I don't even feel like we've ever been sponsored by Puma. That is some history there, isn't it? But yeah, drop us a comment below, and I'll get every which one here gets a shout out for arriving and making yesterday the day that it was. It was a good day. But yeah, quick shit vid. You know what time it is. Let's get on with it. Clock watchers are in. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell my story, even though it is Leeds based. You know about Beckford. Becchio were quite quiet, to be fair to him in general, but I think with it being his second, well, probably, I don't know if it's their second language, you know, I actually thought this, I know this is a bit mental thing to say, but like, obviously, it takes a serious amount of intelligence, you know, because I can barely talk English, so I'd be extremely scared in a foreign country. Say, if I went to Argentina and started, I don't even know what language they speak, is it Spanish? Honestly, I don't even know, that's what I mean, that's how ignorant I am. So, like, I'd be a mess over there. And he was, like, being humorous, you know. And Beckford was sort of, like, the main sort of talker, and he did a lot of the stories. But they've definitely got a really cool relationship. They got on well. But Becchio were quite funny, and that's what I mean. It got me thinking, like, you know, it must be really difficult to, you know, he's probably got it all in his hometown. You know, all the banter. But it's, like, really, you know, really hard. So, but, yeah, that's my quick shit story about Becchio. Beckford were really funny. We're on about, obviously, Man U goal, and when we went up against whoever that was, I can't remember who that was, Bristol or whatever it was. So we just went through all the memories, the Man U goal. Yeah, good lad he was. 2 good lads, and then an extra one. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad we're in on Saturday. 12:30 kickoff, which I always hate the 12:30 kickoffs, and they don't get back till the Thursday, I think, from the internationals. So that's not going to give them a lot of time whatsoever to even just settle back down, really, and then straight into an 12:30 kickoff. It's a bit shit that, you know, we have a lot of players that go out as well, don't we? So, like, you know, even youngsters, Nonto and Joseph and stuff, they've all gone playing in under 21s and what have you. So it's, you know, a lot of them go. So Be interesting to see if Dan James is back. There's some talks that he may very well be back ready because it was only like a minor knock. And there's also talks that Bamford might possibly be on the bench, which I know everybody's going to go ballistic about. But, you know, whether you like it or not, Bamford on the bench is strength in depth, isn't it? It's a lot. The bench is better with Bamford on it. The two bookies' favourites up against Burnley, so we will see what's what. It's quite a good yardstick, isn't it, if that's the word, quite a good marker to lay down, see where we're at. Win would be obviously shagadelic, so we'll see what happens. Let's talk about Webbling WOBER, because obviously he's not looking like he's going to feature like pretty much whatsoever, more or less. So, but there's actually some talk that he's maybe got like a minor knock, or he's actually like recovering from a bit of an injury, and that's why he's not really been in and around the side. I don't think he gets in over Rodon, Struick, even Ampadu. I don't think he gets in over them guys, but, you know, there's also been some talk. Some people seem to think that he'll play left back or he'll go to a back five, but I think he's done away with that now. I think we will remain as a 4 defensively. I don't think we'll go to a 5. I can't see him switching it up that dramatically, unless obviously as we get into the season, if there's, you know, because I still think the jury's still well out for me whether we're being able to defend well or not. I think we look really vulnerable at times. We look like getting pulled all over the shop. I'm sick of seeing like our wing backs. I don't even necessarily. I know Firpo, the Wanderer, can get about and he does walk off a lot, but I don't actually think it's Firpo's fault. It seems to be like structurally the way we're setting up. We're getting overloaded and there's like gaps everywhere, and we become like a box at the back. So like Firpo will be in front of Struick or Bogle will be in front of Rodon, and it's just a mess. And then they just can't, you know, pick it back up. Firpo's been talking because obviously he wanted to go to Olympics, didn't he, in summer, but that never materialised. Well, he really did want to go, but, you know, he'd been told by the club that, you know, he's a massive part of the plans and he's a leader, and he said that he's a captain, but I think he just means like, you know, strong personality in the dressing room, you would imagine. So yeah, so he did everything he could till the last day to go to that, but which is fair enough. I feel for him a bit, but, you know, ultimately I don't care, because all I care about is the interest of Leeds United, really. And if Faki needs him in and on and over here, he needs to stay in and on and over here, don't he? That's where your wages are paid. So, you know, and Olympics is not quite the, you know, it's not the Euros or the World Cup. I know that I'd get in the way less because of how it's structured, but, you know, no, Firpo, you stay at home, mate. You stay with me, mate. Stay over with me, mate. You're loving it. Joseph banged a goal in for under-21s for Spain the other day. I've not been watching internationals, to be fair. I don't really care, truth be told, whatsoever. But Joseph has been in an interview and he's been taken out of context somewhat. So he got asked if will he end up back in La Liga, because obviously that's where he's come from, and, you know, probably, you know, he's a Spanish lad, he probably wants to play in Spain, but he just said he doesn't know if he will return. It was an open question, you know. I think the thing is, the reason why these things are frustrating and they get taken unbelievably out of context is he's not a Leeds United fan, is he? He's here to play for as long as possible, and he will be enjoying his time at Leeds, and I'm sure he wants to play all season and get 20 goals. But, you know, long term, he probably does want to go play for Real Madrid, doesn't he? Or Barcelona or whatever. Do you know what I mean? He probably does want to be in Spain. Probably wants to play for the biggest club in the world, any of them, you know. So it's like, they do have ambitions to go places, don't they, from this? But we do actually have to accept that, you know, maybe we are a stepping stone. It don't make us a selling club. A lot of people whinge on that we're a selling club. It's like, no, I think we're just a stepping stone club at the moment. We're not at the heights that we once was. And you can't even at any level, even when we were banging them in, we were in Champions League, we struggled to keep Ferdinand and stuff. And they move on, don't they? They go to bigger and what they think is better things. So that's it. That's what we're dealing with. But you know what time it is. I've got a track out on this Friday, guys. If you click the link below, it'd really help a brother out. Yeah. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Helps a bunch. Bosh.
Boom.
JackCity, bitch. JackCity, bitch. Hey!
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask no.